Thanks for staying with us. President Faustin Touadera is calling on all armed groups in the Central African Republic to stop the violence. The president, on his visit to the town of Papua, which is recently been plagued by violence, appealed for an end to fighting in the region.
Central African President Faustin Touadera has asked armed groups in Power region, where clashes broke out last year, displacing thousands of people, to end the violence. The United Nations mission in the country says the fighting has been between the revolution and Justice armed group. Touadera visited the town of Power last week with the MINUSCA head.
I come to tell the armed groups that the harm they are doing to their neighbors is not normal at all. We must stop. It has to stop. The armed groups of Amel, Sayo and Baha must stop. It is not you who will protect the people and the country. The commitments made by the head of state will be fulfilled. We will help him to ensure that this region is rid of all those who cause death and desolation.
MINUSCA says that clashes between armed groups have displaced more than 60,000 people and caused a serious humanitarian crisis in the area. Ka has been plagued by conflict since March 2013, when mainly Muslim Salika rebels seized power, triggering reprisals by Christian anti-Balaka militias. Nearly 5 years into the conflict in Ka, which has been marked by successive waves of ethnic cleansing, the security situation is worsening, particularly in the east and northwest of the country, where violence has flared up.
2 ex-Guantanamo Bay detainees transferred to Ghana by the United States have been granted refugee status and now cannot be deported, even though the contractual period indicates their stay has elapsed. According to government sources, the Yemeni nationals were sent to Ghana in January 2016 for an initial 2-year period after spending more than a decade at the U.S.-operated Guantanamo Bay prison for suspected terrorism. Their arrival in Ghana has been in dispute. The President, Nana Akufo-Addo, who was the main opposition leader at the time of the transfer, criticized the government for accepting the 2 Yemenis. The U.S. Army says it's looking to authenticate videos circulating online purporting to show dead American soldiers in the aftermath of last year's attack in Niger. A statement from its African command says the post was being reviewed to determine the veracity of the tweet and the assertions that there is an associated video. On October the 4th, 12 U.S. soldiers and 30 Nigerian soldiers were ambushed in Togo, a village in the southwestern part of the country. The soldiers were reportedly on a mission to collect information about a high-ranking militant in the region. The United States has roughly 800 troops in the region. And back here in Nigeria, the Benue State government has assured internally displaced persons of increased security surveillance on the Benue-Nasarawa corridors to prevent further attacks by suspected herdsmen. Governor Samuel Ortom gave the assurance while visiting 4 IDP camps in Logo and Guma local government areas.
Over 23,000 displaced people are gathered here at the Ugba IDP camp in Logo area of Benue State, comprising more of women and children who've lost their loved ones. The people carry on with their lives and perhaps oblivious to the environmental hazards they're exposed to. The state governor, Samuel Ortom, arrives at the camp bearing good news regarding the security of their communities.
As directed by Mr. President, they are cooperating with me, and we're doing surveillance and ensuring that we block the other areas where there are leakages, so that once that is done, you can go back to your respective homes. Once we secure the land, and we're sure that you'll be secured when you go back.
While the displaced persons highlight some of the challenges they face, the governor came prepared with solutions.
We don't have the food. We don't have the place where defecate. There's no toilet here and not a good water to drink. Even to bath, we don't have water here.
I've directed and I've already released money that they should sink a borehole right away in this place to provide water.
From the internally displaced persons camp in Logo to others in Guma local government area, the Benue State government is not only providing them with boreholes, but basic food and clothing items until when it's safe for them to return home.
Egyptian startup companies are aiming to design video games that will tackle social issues in the country. They say they want to prepare young people for the job market and educate young women and men through interactive tools.
An Egyptian game developer has created interactive video games to approach social issues such as female genital mutilation and to raise awareness amongst youth. One of the games developed by Castlink Studios is called Bara, or Innocence, and was created in collaboration with the United Nations to educate people on female genital mutilation. We are trying to offer something new because when the West develops games, even on the Middle East or the Egyptian culture, they do so from their own perspective. But when we develop the games, we make them better because we know more about the experiences we've lived through and continue to see the wrong practices happening. It targets young girls in villages. In the game, the player helps a girl escape a hospital and break walls, representing misconceptions of society. Company co-founder Ahmed Hisham says the games offer something new because they are designed locally rather than being designed with a Western perspective. Another game created by the company, Wazafni Shokran, helps manual workers learn communication skills for interviews. Company founder Noha Emil Siri says user response has been positive.
They're amazed that we are creating games addressing these issues, and they are really entertained by the game itself. They say it is fun and that they are waiting to see how the game ends and solves the issue.
The developers have created more than 7 games so far, most still in the prototype phase, with the first expected to hit mobile platforms within the next few months. The games will be released for free and will mainly target mobile platforms. The company has been founded by 8 people, all of whom have studied game development at Cairo's Information Technology Institute.
And that's our program today. Thank you for watching. I am Missy Adebayo.